Hi, everybody. This is Phil Sims, and you're watching Fresh Cookies.
Yo, what up? Welcome to the Fresh Cookies NFL Conference Championship kickoff weekend. Weekend kickoff. I guess that's where we're going with. But listen, there's only 2 games left in the whole NFL season. I can't believe this. As always, like and subscribe, guys. Want to grow this channel. Want to get more peeps up in here. Unfortunately, had some cancellations, but we will be bringing you some interviews and get some other voices on here. Obviously, for the 2 weeks of media coverage we're going to get leading up to the Super Bowl. Man, oh man, here we are. There we go. Got to make sure I look good for you guys. But yeah, I can't believe it, man. Only two games left in this whole damn season. Once again, I go against my better judgment and lean with an AFC East team to do the damn thing, and of course they don't come up with the result. Listen, Bills, you were only going to get one game where I was going to root for you this year. This was it. You blew it, so it's curtains. Next year, none of y'all getting nothing. All right. Man. We got some fun stuff to talk about, though. No power rankings this week, but we have our very first Fresh Cookies Final Four. That's right. Final Four in football. It's a new day. And crazy. Going to step away from the football field. Talk a little murder mystery in case nobody's heard of what's going on. Just an absolute terrible, terrible scenario happening in, I want to say, the Missouri area. Yeah. Kansas City, Missouri. 3 guys apparently found frozen to death after a football watch party. I mean, horrible way to go out. It's even worse that we got sick people out here came and watched an NFL game. Just a lot of crazy details with that story. We'll get into it, but before I forget, man, we got so much to talk about this week. And I mean, before we even get into the matchups, let me just say, for everything that I've said about this NFL season, yeah, I don't think it's the greatest one. All right. With all the starting quarterbacks we've had we've had go down. But I'll tell you what, these last couple weeks have made up for it. It's pretty damn interesting right now. All right. Regardless of who wins, I mean, if the Chiefs win, it's whatever. But everyone else that's involved in the playoffs, I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl either way. I think even if the Chiefs go, it'll still be a memorable Super Bowl, but I just want to see somebody else get up in there. And as always, appreciate y'all already up in the chat and participating. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Our female fans showing love. Always a good thing. I don't know. I want to know. What I do want to know is what the reception for Taylor Swift is going to be in Baltimore. It's a rough city. They love them some Ravens. For some reason, I feel like this is going to be her least warm welcome. There's a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, all right? All the Etsy shirts and everything gets thrown out the window. So, poll question for our fans of the show, and we're going to have to take a poll as to what we're going to call y'all. The bakers, the fresh cookie bakers, is that what we're going with? Anyway, yeah, does Taylor Swift get a warm or a hostile welcome in Baltimore this weekend for the AFC Championship. Taylor Swift has fans everywhere. Well, let's put that stardom. Let's put that fandom to work. All right, you get people to pop out in Baltimore, act up. That's something. That's something. Great show. Great show planned today, though. If I could ever get this situated. Um, just reading our ticker there at the bottom. Obviously, Mahomes versus Lamar. This is Lamar Jackson's greatest test of his career. How will he fare against the league darlings and the what? We'll get into the rankings. All right. The Chiefs ain't no slouch. All right. This just isn't their best team. But, you know, just because it ain't their best team don't mean they're not a threat in the playoffs. All right. I can't ever count out Patrick Mahomes. Not on the same level as Brady. They do things differently. All right. I'm not saying one is better than the other. We know Tom Brady is obviously better. But Patrick Mahomes just got that thing in him, man. Like, my brother and I always used to have this conversation. If the aliens came down and they said, you know what, you could run a 2-minute drill with anybody on the face of the earth. Listen, I'm taking Tom Brady and I'm taking Randy Moss every single day. Well, maybe in their prime. I wouldn't take them now, but Patrick Mahomes has that same kind of lore around him. I mean, with the game on the line, it's almost impossible to count this dude out. He just does some crazy, just some absolutely wild, ridiculous, unconventional, and lucky shit. All right, let's be honest. Some of it's lucky. His sideshow Bob looking at a good show playing today, though. All right. Now, before, like I said, we're gonna have some great stuff leading up to the Super Bowl. So I want to try to keep the Super Bowl talk to a minimum because we're gonna have 2 weeks leading up. All right, we have 2 weeks leading up, and I just don't want to keep repeating myself. But we're gonna get some good people on. All right, gonna get some good, uh, different perspectives, young NFL veterans, some former Super Bowl champs, some betting guys. All right, maybe some people walk away with some money. Not maybe. Y'all are going to walk away with some money, and I'll take my 10% cut. Man. But before we jump heavy into what's going on this weekend, let's just take a look back. And let me say, the games this past weekend, very entertaining. All right. We're going to go to the Texans Ravens first. Young CJ Stroud. I mean, this guy acts and plays like he's been an OG in the game for years now. All right. Let's take a look at his stats. 175 yards passing, no interceptions. Gotta love that he doesn't turn the ball over. 19 to 33 passing. This is a rookie, folks. All right. This is a rookie that is 10 times better than Ryan Tannehill. But we didn't come here for Tannehill slander. It'd be too easy. That's low-hanging fruit. But CJ Stroud, what a guy. What a guy. Just looking at how they lost this game, I mean, I think the Ravens defense is that good. I mean, 22 yards for Singletary. Yeah, just not a lot of offense for the Texans. And despite that, they don't turn the ball over. And Lamar, an easy 152 yards passing. He's 16 to 22, great. And then 100 yards running. I mean, this guy. I ain't telling you anything you don't already know. All right. But he should be the league MVP. it's so tough, man. I mean, like the MVP just seems like it's a straight quarterback award at this point, but he's the last. No, really, him, Pat Mahomes, and Josh Allen were really the big name quarterbacks standing there at the end. We're gonna have to put Jared Goff in there, but you know what I mean. All right, everybody else hurt, and Jared Goff has easily surpassed Matthew Stafford as the most beloved quarterback in Detroit Lions history. Now, if he gets them to the promised land, forget it. They might not even remember Stafford. Nah, they will. They will. But the Ravens, I saw an interesting tweet. Let me see if I can pull it up here. My Twitter is just flooded with fight videos. I mean, stop the violence, y'all. Stop the friggin' violence. While I'm pulling that up, in case you didn't see our thumbnail, it's the championship kickoff weekend. Or championship weekend kickoff. My bad. You know what the fuck I meant. But just give me a second. I'm trying to pull up this tweet here. Showing you how dominant the Ravens have been. All right. Ravens whooping ass all over town. All right. But just look at this. All right. They beat and mind you, the Lions, I mean, how do I explain this? I was impressed that they opened up the season with the win against the Chiefs, but we didn't know where their season was going to go from there. All right. Um, the hell is his name? Tony. I almost said Gregarious Tony. That'd be insane. But anyway, he dropped like 3 balls and they only won by 1. So it is what it is. With the Lions, why not to be proved to be good? But anyway, the Ravens, I just want to bring up this stat. I thought it was crazy. I mean, this tweet, I thought it was crazy. They beat the 14-5 Lions by 32 points. They beat the Niners by 14. And let's face it, the Niners were never the same after that loss. They look shook. All right. They look shook. I'm not counting them out. And if they rematch, I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, but definitely snatched their chain on that first meeting. Like I said, beat them by 2 touchdowns. The Dolphins, I said, had the best offense. It was so disgraceful the way they went out, like some straight punks. I said what I said. They beat their ass by 37. The Browns, who had a great defense, and once again, I'll reiterate this, the AFC North, one of the best, if not the best division. Whoa. The best division in football this year. The defenses, I mean, the guys who stepped up big. I mean, the Bengals were like the lowest tier in that division. And that's only because Joe Burrow was out. But I would have loved to see that division play out with a healthy Burrow. But the Ravens are obviously still alive, but the Steelers and the Browns defenses also just top 5. So whoever was going to be in the playoffs from that division was going to be a tough out. So shout out East Coast Los, a very dedicated fan here. Always appreciate the input. Quiet on the Steelers front for the most part this week, but should be interesting. Should be interesting to see where fans are going to lean this weekend. You know, I don't think this is the most hateable Ravens team. I know it's tough to root for a division rival, but this Ravens team, out of all of them, with the exception of Odell, I really don't have any negative things to say. But yes, beat a very good Browns defense by 25. They beat the Texans, like I said, by 16 and 24. Rookie quarterback. Let's see CJ Stroud get that back next year. The Jaguars, who were an absolute disappointment. I was so high on them the first 8 weeks. Just disgraceful. The Seahawks, my my beloved third team. I mean, I like them. Now that Pete Carroll's gone, though, it's going to be kind of hard to root for them considering how he went out, but they dogged their ass by 34 points. Bengals, like I said, not their most impressive season, but they go down by 14. And you just see this here. 2+ TD wins over teams with winning records. I heard some people calling out, if the Ravens win the Super Bowl, are they considered the most dominant team of all time? Hard to say, but I'm going to say no. All right, I'm going to respectfully say no. And I know, I mean, just thinking about it, the 85 Bears, obviously one of the best defenses, the Legion of Boom, another one that was crazy. I mean, the greatest show on turf. Who are some of these other guys? I mean, there's teams that didn't even win the Super Bowl that I think there's nothing against this Ravens team, but I don't even know if they would fare up against. I mean, even gonna come in here with some bias, but the 16 and 0, eventually 18 and 1 Patriots. I would like to see them go up against them with some of the numbers they were putting up, but I don't know if I want to ask this question to the chat fully, but just you guys let me know. If the Ravens win and they do so in dominating fashion, are they the best team in NFL history? You're bugging. But yes, the Baltimore Ravens, a clear-cut favorite to win this whole damn thing. And they got arguably the greatest kicker in the game right now. So they're definitely the biggest threat. But I have nothing but respect for the Texans. Like I said, young quarterback, rookie head coach, D'Amico Ryans did a great job with them. I can't wait to see if they add some more guys in the offseason. Also, my guy John Mechie, coming out of Alabama, sat out last year with leukemia. Filmed him in high school. Like I said, shout out to him. Canadian football player, just absolute dog. Glad to see him back out on the field, but I would like to see the Texans possibly add another wide. Really, I think they had a pretty good run game. I would like to see them add another threat. I would definitely like to see them add another tight end. But yeah, shout out. I was gonna say shout out to the Texans on a great year, even though they didn't win any. I mean, not to say they didn't win anything. They got to the divisional round, so that's more than I can say for the Eagles. Yeah, that's right. We still chopping them birds up here. Care if they are home. We punch down. But just moving right along, I believe this was the same day. Packers and the 49ers. Man, the Packers coming out of nowhere at the end of the year. I mean, they had a great first game against the Bears, and then they kind of lulled a little bit, but the Packers getting the damn thing done. They go up against arguably the best defense in the league. Jordan Love, not unscathed, but comes out almost 200 yards passing. He had 2 throwing touchdowns. He also had 2 interceptions. Aaron Jones, if you're a fantasy owner, gotta kind of like that. He doesn't score a touchdown, but I mean, just dominant at the end of the year, and Romeo Dobbs going to get his. But I just want to give a special shout out. I want to put him up here. Bo Melton. All right. Rutgers alum, but that's not why I want to highlight Bo right here. Bo was actually the very first athlete I ever covered. All right. I drove 2 hours to go meet this kid down in the Atlantic City area. I heard he was good. He had a whole bunch of offers and he chose Rutgers because his mom and his dad both went there. Like I said, he becomes their all-time leading receiver in yards, I believe. But he gets drafted to the Seahawks back in, what does it say? Last year, 2022. Or was it 2 years? That's 2 years ago. Gets drafted by the Seahawks. He's really just a practice squad guy up until that point. Gets called up this year towards the end of the year, I believe I'll say it's the last 5 games. Dude was on the practice squad, plays his way up, and then earned himself a contract. So shout out to Bo, a very nice young man. He's got a younger brother, Malachi, that will be entering the draft this year, also went to Rutgers. So we are going to try to get both of them, maybe not at the same time, but we're going to try to get both of the Meltons on the show. Just a great family overall and a great story. So shout out to Bo. All right. You did the damn thing, kid. You made it to the dance and you made the most of your opportunity. So best of luck and God bless the Bo Melton. As I say, he had a huge pickup. I say he had 1 reception for 19 yards and a touchdown, but let me just say they were probably arguably the biggest plays of that game for the Packers because it got them back in there. But yeah, 49ers, they're doing their thing. When it comes to them this weekend, though, I mean, they had no. I was gonna say, where's not a lot of Deebo action. So we'll see. We'll talk about it, but we'll see. We'll see what's up with that. Yo, Lizzie P, fresh cookies. Appreciate you signing on as always. Another one of our dedicated listeners. We got to get her a koozie of some sort. But yeah, I mean, despite the loss, I hate moral victories, but the Packers, shout out to y'all. And like I said, Bo Melton, my dude from the AC area. All right. So Tampa Bay Lions, Baker Mayfield might be the surprise of the year. I mean, 349 yards. Yeah, he threw 2 interceptions, but you know what? I was so critical of Baker when he was on the Browns, but just to see how he's hung in there, I hope he gets a contract in Tampa. I mean, and I hope he gets his Hulu commercials back. Just a great story. Not to say he's one of the last true quarterbacks, but just looking at that stat line, what I compared to what I just read out loud, 349 yards. Love to see it. I mean, he completed probably half his passes. So a quarterback coach would probably take a dump on my take right here. But yeah, don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. We're going to have to do a rebranding, obviously, with Coach Belichick no longer here. We'll always hold that video for the intro, but we got some big changes coming. And like I said, leading up to the Super Bowl, we're going to have some interviews, had some flakes this week, but it's all right. We'll get them back in there. And you see Phil Simms on the intro. We're going to try to get Sims Complete QB podcast. We're going to try to get those guys up in here. But yeah, don't worry. It's coming. And my Steelers fan, Coming with the Baltimore pick. It's not a bad pick, all right? If you had to, like I said, compared to past Baltimore Ravens team, this one probably the most likable. But yeah, just looking at these stats, man, for these Tampa Bay Bucks, Mike Evans. I mean, believe this was a contract year for him. He deserves it. All right, he's a vet in the league. Definitely should be. He's a top. I would say it's tough to call him a top 10 receiver, but honestly, he's so damn reliable. Yeah, he is a top 10 still. He is a top 10 still. And just all the stats for the Bucks. They're playing up against a once in a lifetime Lions team. Not to say it's one of the greatest teams once in a lifetime, just in terms of the history of the Lions. I mean, even if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's hard. And that's tough. I mean, no disrespect to Barry Sanders either. But if you're a Lions fan, how do you not say this isn't your best team? But Jared Goff, another just great story. All right. Thrown to the Wolves, exiled from sunny Los Angeles to the Steel City. Or is it Motor City? I believe it's the Motor City. Yeah, anyway, he's banished over there, written off, but you know what? Pulls himself out of the dirt, and now he's one win away from going back to a Super Bowl. So shout out to Jared Goff. Didn't turn the ball over once. I know that's always been his critique. Little fumble. Couldn't hold on to the football. To do my best Tim McGraw impression from Saturday Night Lives. I mean Saturday Night Lights. Jeez. I mean Saturday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights. Damn it. Ruining my bits. Charlie Billingsley. That was his name. I knew I had it. Yeah, but another one. I don't want to give out moral victories, but shout out to the Bucks. They were in the playoffs 1 year removed from Tom Brady and got a win. That's more than I can say that the Patriots did. So, and we'll save it, but how as a nation, how are we not rooting for the Lions? I mean, I remember watching the 0-16 season. I felt bad for them. So, magical run, their final home game of the year, so they will be on the road, but just, clap it up for just their fan base hanging in there, bro. Their fan base hanging in there. This is the Lions all day. Let them know, Bobby.
Well, I'll tell you when I've had enough. Well, I'll tell you when I've had enough.
They just won't quit. All right, now we've been pretty generous, but it's time to get real for a second. The Bills, the Chiefs, it lived up to the hype. Man. And I have nothing, and I say this sincerely, but I have to be honest. When I say this, Buffalo Bills, you blew it. I really can't believe this is how the game ended. I mean, come on. Wide right. Out of all the scenarios we could have, that's not the right one. At all the scenarios we could have had, wide effing right. That's how you're going to come off to me. That's how you're going to come off to me on my wedding day. Man. Let's go to the tape. Tyler Bass with the chance to help so many people in the Buffalo area sleep better, knowing that the past is the past. How could they possibly not make this field goal? They didn't even have the wind. So with the chance to tie it up and send it into overtime. No, he missed it. Man. Well, that was fun. Man. And I have to ask, I don't know what's a bigger bonehead play. It's not so much a bigger. This was just horrible, though. Before I get on with the back kicking, I would really love to know what went into this. I mean, let me just back it up a little bit. The Damar Hamlin fake punt. What did you think was going to happen? The guy's barely played this year. Was it cuteness? Was it ignorance? Or was it just a dumb move? I can't believe it. Is that the worst call this year? Is that the worst play call this year? Man, just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Where is it at? But yes, LOL Bills. Like I said, not the Chiefs' best season, and they're still alive in the playoffs. How could you count them out? Patrick Mahomes needs to win 2 more games, and he is a 3-time Super Bowl champ. And I see all the stats. They're like, oh, no one's ever done this before the age of 30. He's the best ever. Yeah, well. Beat Tom Brady. Oh, wait, you can't. So that puts that argument to bed. But, yeah, I mean, the Bills. I was rooting for them late. Just couldn't get the damn thing done. Josh Allen, no turnovers in this one. Deserves to be paid. Definitely deserves to stay. Do you guys think Stephon Diggs stays next year? To be honest, when they hit that rough patch in the year, I didn't see him staying. Now I do. And interesting enough, I heard Coach Jason Brown and Rex Ryan allude to this, though, and let me know what you guys think. With the result, do the Bills go ahead and retain their big players that they want? Let go of Sean McDermott, and could we see Bill Belichick go within his former division and coach for the Buffalo Bills? And with that being said, it kind of looks like from what I've read from multiple different sources, it looks like negotiations in Atlanta may be cooling down a bit. And I got to imagine that Belichick still wants to pick the personnel, but I just don't think any other team other than the Patriots are going to give him that. And we're not giving any. I don't think after Andy Reid retires, I think he'll be the last coach to be able to pick all that stuff, because it kind of seems like that's what Pete Carroll's running into as well, where he wants to be able to pick, and these franchises are just like, nah, we good. And I know everybody was clowning and saying like, oh, he's gonna get the Cowboys job. Listen, Jerry Jones been drafting dimes for like ever now. There's no way he's giving that up for a guy who just won 4 games. I understand he's the GOAT. All right. Maybe you want to say Don Shula's the GOAT, but listen, this guy for 20 years put the league on notice and pissed off a lot of people. I just don't think that any team going forward ever again is going to give a head coach that much leverage. But the Bills, they definitely had to change something because it felt like the coach, and like I said, I would never call for anybody's job, but it just felt like the coaching is what took them out of that game. Not even the fake punt, just the it's so tough to watch a team basically be in control the whole time and then just I don't know. In the fourth quarter, they just don't even look like the same team. And maybe it's the coaching, maybe it's the guys, but yep, the Bills, they blew it, and now we're gonna get another Chiefs playoff win, and God help me, if they win, we are just gonna get bombarded with we're going to get bombarded with coverage regardless. It's 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, but just I don't know if I can handle all these commercials that I know they have plans. And with that being said, if the Chiefs don't go to the Super Bowl, I'm sure they got mad commercials lined up. Do they run them? Or is it just bad timing? And shout out to Usher. The closer the Super Bowl's getting, they're running these promos. I'm hoping for a good Super Bowl halftime show this year. No disrespect to Rihanna, but after the dust settled, not my favorite Super Bowl halftime performance. But she was also pregnant, so. But yes, it's the end of the road for the Buffalo Bills. I guess they did a little bit better than I expected, but wasn't that good. Man. So yes, like I said, only 2 games remain. And before we start breaking down this weekend and also the power rankings, we have some. Let me make sure I have the. Where the heck is it? Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. But yes, in case you didn't hear, congratulations to Jim Harbaugh, the new head coach of the LA Chargers. Not really a huge surprise. There's been talks about this. Classic Blanca Street Fighter 2 vibes. And yes, Kansas City Chiefs next year, it is your ass. But shout out to Coach Harbaugh, just coming off the national championship at Michigan. Was expected to make a boatload of money next year, but there was already talks of him being suspended, so he dips. Not mad at you, kid. Not mad at you. And if you saw our show last week, we discussed the Gerard Mayo hiring. It's a good hire. It's just the press conference was super, super weird for me. All right. Super, super weird. Just to pull up, just some basic facts about Harbaugh, 26th overall pick in the NFL draft from Michigan. Like I said, just coming off the he's coming off the natty in college football this year, was also college football's bad boy, suspended twice. Couldn't keep the boy down, though. Played in the NFL from 87 to 01, was comeback player of the year, was an NFL head coach 2 different times, actually coached the Chargers once, and I believe was the Raiders quarterbacks coach before that, for 2 years. So, yep, did two years with the Chargers and then 3 with the Niners, led him to a Super Bowl, but did come up short against his brother, John Harbaugh, who is looking to go to win his is Harbaugh only got one, I think. You don't think he only got one. But yeah, also NFL coach of the year. I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff out, but man, just to see the job that he did at Michigan, has beaten Ohio State the last 3 years, something not easy to do. Also just huge momentum, and you can basically do anything you want at Michigan if you beat Ohio State. To do it 3 years in a row in Columbus as well, just something special. Definitely the end of an era at Michigan, and they're probably going to get smoked for just a lot of get back that's headed their way. But yeah, shout out to Coach Harbaugh coming back to the league. I would like to see that AFC West start to ramp up. All right, maybe. Why am I blanking on his name? Sean Payton. Maybe Sean Payton gets the wheels rolling in Denver. Antonio Pierce. Maybe the Raiders can get it together, get an actual quarterback, and that division is popping next year. But I love the hire. The Chargers, if they can keep their team, it's gonna be scary moving forward. All right. And I forgot to play this, but just to continue with our theme of kicking in the Bills' backs in. They are the newest additions to the Get the F Out Club. So this young woman, we appreciate her efforts, just letting us know which fan bases were just talking hella shit. And now they can have a nice comfy seat on the motherfucking couch. So Bills, get the F out. All right. Also, we've had some interesting takes so far, but as always, I encourage you guys, jump in the chat, let me know what you got cooking this weekend, literally and figuratively. I'm all for the football menus. Let me know what you making. All right. Debating on I gotta pop out with like a crazy signature dish for the Super Bowl. All right. Kind of torn. I don't know. Do I want to go like a buffalo route? Maybe make some lobster rolls. Who knows? Who knows? Gotta do something special though for the SB. For the SB. But you guys let me know. Like I said, what you got cooking, some of your predictions, some of your parlays. All right. What's something crazy? Who do you got scoring the first touchdown? If I had to guess, just well, I'll put the corrections up there, but yes, I mean Julius Stiles, a national treasure, saved the last dance. They just don't make them like that anymore. All right. I was talking to somebody about You Got Served. First of all, it crushes my heart that there are people, and I'm not that old, damn it. All right. I'm not that old, but it crushes my heart that there's people around my same age that have never seen You Got Served. Your boy is tripping. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, but just B2K, Steve Harvey. Megan Good can't be replaced. It can't be done. It was so cheesy. It was good. Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's a new one. That's a new one that I like. All right, that's a new one. Recreating Thanksgiving dinner. And shout out to my brother-in-law. My condolences to his Eagles. They just absolutely crumbled like a dollar store Ritz in water. It was rough. It was rough. Um man, the Eagles. Do I still I no. Oh, I do. You know what? I do. I still have some Eagles heat, all right? I still have some Eagles heat around here, all right? Don't forget. Man. Oh man, I lost my train of thought though. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the Super Bowl menus. You guys let me know what you're cooking up. We're gonna have to do we have to do a little road trip. We have to do a little road trip. Hit up some of these businesses. All right, who's got the best wings in New Jersey? We're gonna have to compare maybe to some desserts. Make it into a whole thing. Yes, that's right. It's so funny. Whenever I go to cover these games, oh man, always think about that movie. We just changed our names to the Little Saints. Oh, I'm sorry. You're recreating Thanksgiving this weekend. All right, just off the rip. Well, I'm still going to enter that into the football universe. I would like to see somebody for their Super Bowl party recreate Thanksgiving dinner. I think that would be awesome. And I'll just put that we're gonna have like a Super Bowl party show. Like I said, we're gonna do a couple different things leading up to the Super Bowl. Definitely gonna try to get more than one live show in. Um, During that time, we're definitely gonna get some interviews. But I just want to know what's one of the worst Super Bowl parties you guys ever went to? Why was it so bad? And what are some tips you have for maybe somebody attending their first Super Bowl party, or maybe they're just not that familiar with etiquette at a Super Bowl party. But what are some do's and don'ts? I think I've done this video before in the past. I think I'm gonna have to revamp it up, but it's always a fun experience. Sometimes. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've been to too many bad. Really, I just can't go with my family on the Super Bowl because I really don't like to watch football with civilians. Okay. Well, my sister said she's going with the heavy seafood on Super Bowl Sunday. I appreciate that. Some coconut scrimps, um, maybe some clams, casino, bacon wrapped scallops. I can get down with that. Listen, we are 3 week, yeah, right, 3 weeks. Yeah, we got this week, and then we're gonna get a week off, and then yeah, we're like, I believe three. I'm gonna pull up the calendar. I can't keep lying to you guys. All right. Mm, Yeah, I guess we're just 2 weeks. I guess we're just 2 weeks away from the Super Bowl. Let me see where pull up some for y'all. Y'all already know what's going down. A mere couple weeks. Brace yourselves. We're going to Las Vegas, sort of. The Super Bowl is upon us. Brace yourselves. Yeah, that's what it really is, to be honest with you. And for me, flatulence. I mean, listen, football food is not kind to any of us, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna get caught with them guts at somebody else's crib. But yeah, I mean, Super Bowl and Thanksgiving, I feel like are two, and really Christmas dinner, at least for us, are just three holidays that you just. And yes, Super Bowl is a holiday. It's the greatest American holiday behind the 4th of July. But yeah, it's just, listen, dog, I just want to be home. I want to be able to use my own bathroom. That's really what it comes down to. I really cannot believe that it is this deep into the football season. I'm babbling on a little bit right here. We still got time though. I appreciate all y'all jumping in here. Some of y'all on break from work. Some of y'all at work right now, and I appreciate it. But without further ado, and let me just say, you've all been so great for these power rankings. Let's get into the very first Fresh Cookies Final Four. You know what? And I'm gonna queue up. Hmm. How do we want to go? How do we want to enter this one? All right, here we go. Get ready for the very first Fresh Cookies Final Four. All right, there you have it. The Fresh Cookies Final Four. And then there were four. All right, that's enough. I don't want to get kicked off. Chicken Wang babies, Chicken Wang. All right, but there you have it, the Final Four. There's not that many teams to pick from, but you know what? This is how I'm ranking them going into this weekend. The Detroit Lions, America's official team. I mean, the 313 stand up. They've went up against every opponent. What am I talking about? Uh, Listen, they've surprised everybody this year. All right, show a little heart, root for the Lions. They've had it tough. All right, show some grace. Now, the team that's had more than enough, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're still alive. I think they're just a little bit smarter than some of the boneheaded teams we've seen this year. But, you know, the Chiefs are still in it. It's hard to count them out. Just the two teams that are in front of them, hard to deny. San Francisco 49ers, arguably the best team all year long, but definitely need everything to be rolling on all cylinders for them to be efficient. And they already lost to the Ravens, who you saw me pull up that tweet before. The Ravens have just, they've whooped up on everybody good. All right. They've whooped up on everybody good. And people are already starting to proclaim them as possibly the greatest NFL team ever. Ever. It's so hard. Um, it's tough. You want to give these younger guys their props and everything, and you want to see the game evolved, but I'm just not of this whole notion of let's just tear down the past and automatically everybody's 10 times better than anyone's ever been. Some of y'all never even saw Sean Alexander play, all right? All right, he was on the cover of Madden for a reason. And then he was nowhere. So yes, there's our final four. Like I said, I mean, not a big shock, but somebody's got to rank them. Like I said, Detroit, lots of heart, the actual heart of a lion. I just think they're in over their heads a little bit here, so they're going to go down to the number 4 spot. The Chiefs, honestly, with the most playoff experience in recent memory. See, I would like to put them 3. It's just the Niners have been so impressive this year. How do I not put them number 2? And obviously the Ravens sung the Niners and possibly broke them for the rest of the year, so they get the top spot. Now, just getting into these matchups this weekend. Let's start with the Chiefs and the Ravens. Like I said, this one a rematch. These two already met this year. Why can't you just give me what I was looking for? My goodness. Where are you? All right, here we go. Finally, shit. Yeah, so damn, I thought I could have swore that the Chiefs and the Ravens met up this year. I guess they didn't. Sorry, just trying to get situated here. Just looking at Baltimore so far this year. I mean, their last game, they just absolutely, I wouldn't say gutted, but they absolutely took it to a very impressive Houston Texans team. Obviously a little inexperienced. It's going to play a factor into it, but I mean, how are you not impressed with these guys? Anyway, going back over here. Tough to say. Like I said, the Chiefs, they have the playoff experience, but the Ravens just have the momentum this year. All right. And just trying to even look at where their losses came from this year. So, I mean, they lost that weird overtime game to the Colts. I remember that one. And then you're going to lose division games to the Steelers, the Browns, and then the Steelers. Yeah, Steelers twice, but they kind of sat everybody for that one, though. So, listen, against good teams, The Ravens have very efficient. I have all the confidence in the world for them. Really, it's really it's the Chiefs I'm more concerned about. And I'm not even really that concerned. I could really give a shit if they get eliminated. But just first of all, I feel like they played such an easy schedule. So to have this record that they do is just there's no excuse for it. But yeah, they lost to the Lions by 1 to start the year. Then they got embarrassed by the Broncos, lost to the Packers, who were in the playoffs, lost to the Bills, who they just avenged that loss, and of course that insane Christmas Day win with the Raiders. I know you've been hearing it, but I mean, this one's going to come down to Deebo Samuel. It's crazy to even say that because the team is so damn impressive. So to say that one player is really gonna to affect this game is silly, but to be honest with you, it is. It is. And I think see it's tough because he's got the captain patch on. But I gotta say, I mean, if the Niners don't pull this one off, do they move on from Brock Purdy? Are they warranted to move on from Brock Purdy? I mean, they didn't have him last year when they played against the Eagles in the championship because he went out with the elbow in the first quarter. But is it his fault if they can't get the job done? I mean, literally superstars everywhere you look on this team. So just not having one receiver, and I get it, he's a crazy receiver to replace. The guy runs the ball well as well. I can't. Anyway, yeah. I'm all over the place because that's not even where I was going. Anyway, back to the this is why I'm all messed up because I'll have my things up here. But when it comes to the Chiefs and the Ravens, listen, the Ravens defense, arguably top in the league. All right. I was not impressed. I haven't been impressed with the Chiefs at all this year. Like I said, they're still the biggest threat. Patrick Mahomes, he's the Q you want. But just looking at this one, it should be Baltimore. It should be Baltimore. And when I look at Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson, the best comparison I could honestly think of is Patrick Mahomes is Superman. Lamar Jackson is Batman. I mean, Patrick Mahomes celebrated by everybody. He's an American icon. I ain't even mad at dude. But he's the clean poster child. Lamar Jackson, he's the Dark Knight. All right. He's the one getting down and gritty. He's breaking people's spines when no one's looking. He's almost like a hood Batman, if you will. And I always said this about Batman. Batman's my favorite superhero. One, because he got a bank. Well, this is the whole thing. Batman's my favorite superhero because he's got a bankroll. My man could be home, chilling. Instead, he's out there every night getting his ass whooped for no credit whatsoever. And talk about no credit. The guy's wanted like every other day. So Gotham either praise the dude or don't. But you know what? Bruce Wayne / Batman, too good for y'all. He's the hero you didn't even deserve. So, but that's the way I look at this matchup: Superman versus Batman. And when it comes down to it, I gotta believe, and it almost pains me. I mean, the Patriots have had some great matchups with the Ravens in the past, but I got to imagine the Ravens. This is like a once in a lifetime team for them, and I mean, like, not even like that because it's a good team. It's not even as impressive as their last team that had Ray Lewis and all these veteran guys on it. But I got to imagine this is just a crazy scenario for Baltimore. I can't imagine them letting this home field advantage slip through their fingers. All right, they're at home for the conference championship against the Chiefs, and shout out to Patrick Mahomes getting his first road win. He proved the haters wrong to that degree. I don't think they will have the same result, though, this upcoming weekend. Talking with somebody before, I'm going to take the Ravens in this one by 10. I think it's a pretty close back and forth battle for the most part. I think the Ravens score on their opening drive. Chiefs retaliate. We have a little bit of a gridlock. Things get popping in towards the end of the third. I think the Ravens take a 2-touchdown lead. The Chiefs cut it to a 1-touchdown lead in the last 3 minutes. And then I think Justin Tucker puts the Ravens up by 10 late, putting the game out of reach. All right. Like I said, the Chiefs, not their best team, but they're still impressive. So even when they lose this one, Kelsey said he's coming back next year. We'll see how they do next year, but I'm taking the Ravens this weekend. All right. In the other game, Lions 49ers. I mean, the league's got to love this. On one hand, you have the 49ers getting ready to go back to the Super Bowl, possibly. Haven't won one since I think 97, 98, I want to say. And then the Lions, never been to a Super Bowl, never won, never did shit. We're rooting for them. And all the odds are against Detroit this weekend. All right, they're going up against arguably the top defense, top team, top coaching staff, whatever you want to call it. This Lions team just has so much heart. Tough to say. I would love to see them go to the Super Bowl. I just think the 49ers are going to have one or two more plays in them than Detroit. This is going to be super close. I'm calling the Niners winning this one on a walk-off field goal. So there you have it. I'm going to go with the big guys. All right. I'm going to go with the Ravens to represent the AFC. I'm going to go with the Niners to represent the NFC. I could be completely wrong, too. Watch, it's going to be a Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl, and the storylines are never going to stop. Man, just insane that we're wrapping up the NFL season. We got a lot more segments to go before the Super Bowl, but I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate everybody that has been supportive of this show. Now, before we dip, like I said, want to go not really off topic, but just a sad, chilling, and unfortunate story coming out of Kansas City following the game. And it had nothing to actually do with the Kansas City Chiefs themselves, but a couple of fans. So we're going to put on our detective cap and just scratch the surface. We'll have more on this story, but in case you haven't heard, 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found frozen in the backyard of the guy whose house they went to go watch this game at. Some 30-year-olds. Like I said, three of these men found frozen to death in the backyard of an individual that worked for a pharmaceutical company known for making some pretty, I know they said it was HIV related, but just making some serious innovations And one of these victims, their family immediately, same day, family came out and said, "Nah, this guy has something to do with it." And I just want to know. So many red flags, and like if the guy did do this shit, I really hope he goes away forever. But like the goal to invite people over to your house and then drug them. And then on top of that, your alibi is that you had headphones on for 3 days? You had headphones on for 3 days? Come on. And then on top of that, dude's going to say he didn't get any text messages, nothing. We're going to look more into this because obviously I'm not down there. So I can't ask no questions. And, shit's only gonna escalate. And to be honest, this wasn't even from this past weekend, but we're gonna keep an eye on this. But just some sick people in this world. Absolute sick people. Can't even enjoy a good football game anymore. Just some sick people out there. I hope there's justice for this. We'll revisit this. I'm gonna have to put out a separate YouTube video, but I just wanted to bring this up and see what everybody was thinking. My sis, yeah, that is sus. That is sus. Yeah, the guy does. He does. That is true. The one guy does look like Ferrano, who is our Woot Woot Football League fan. Well, our Woot Woot Fantasy Football League champion. Shout out to him. He was dog shit last year, so I'm glad to see he rose up in the ranks. So, and just London broil. I like that. I like that for a Super Bowl menu. Gotta have some char. Gotta have some char. All right, y'all. I think that's going to do it for us. The next time we see you, we'll be planning a Super Bowl party. So, once again, I just want to thank everybody, like always, for just interacting in the chat, being here, liking, subscribing, sharing. I need you guys to do that because we want to grow this channel, especially we're about to be approaching the NFL offseason. So, we're going to be jumping into a lot more stuff. Definitely some basketball. I need to be a better basketball and baseball fan this year. Football, I love football. Got to spread it around a little bit. All right. I know there's more things going on than football. It only was about like 4 or 5 months. But, there's more stuff out there. So you guys let me know in the comments on our Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Go follow us. What's some of the stuff you want to be talked about? And always, we're going to keep our eyes and ears open. But thank you once again for joining us. In the comments, let me know what you got going on for conference championship weekend. And also, if you're already planning your Super Bowl party, let me know what's some ish you're going to be rolling out. And like I said, we're going to be doing a couple different shows, and I'll give you a couple videos leading up to the Super Bowl. But once again, just thank you everybody for joining. You already know it's Fresh Cookies, and I'm Nery Rodriguez. Let me redo that. Just forget you even heard me do that. Anyway, let me redo this. Look, I appreciate it. I'm Nery Rodriguez, and you already know it's Fresh Cookies. Peace.